Morning. Oh, just the one hand.
I can do both.
There we go. Hi.
Hi.
And happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
I'm Brendan here with Trevor and
Best
for
day
Heather.
of the week.
You say best day of the week?
Yes. The best day of the work week.
Work week, yes. Welcome to the end of the work week. For some, Trevor will be here tomorrow and Sunday,
Not my
yes?
work week, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's in for Heather, who is at a weather visit right now in Rogers City.
Yeah. Yep. Happy to fill in. Normally she wouldn't always like take the shift off if she had to go do like a teaching thing afterwards. But you know, when you got to go all the way to Rogers City, that kind of changes things.
Yeah,
that would be a very tough turnaround.
We have a very large viewing area, geographically speaking, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
I think Joe told me whenever he was like all the way back when I was going through the hiring process, and when we were going back and forth, he said that we have these, like, of all the stations, not only in Sinclair but in the country, I think we rank the second largest by landmass.
Yeah, east of the Mississippi, we are the largest, yeah.
Yes.
So I didn't know about the second largest in the country, so that's interesting. Yeah, TV-wise, with the antennas and transmitters and things.
Yep.
But what's fun with this, Trevor, we get to talk with our friends outside of our typical viewing area, all over the place.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So you know the drill. Let us know where you're watching from, all those fun things. We won't be showing the weather quiz standings, just because Sarah's off today, Heather's not here. She's working, but... and I guess that was the only reason. But still, this is a great question, Trevor, that you are proposing to us.
Yep. Here we go. So,
that's not the right word.
and I will say, like, me saying this honestly probably just gives the answer away, but I'm going to say it anyways. You would be surprised to hear the answer. You're like, wait, really?
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Question, since December 1st, so... yeah, basically, that's 2 months now. Which of these cities has the least amount of snow recorded since that day? So again, that's been 2 months at this point. Anchorage, Alaska, Chicago, Illinois, and Pensacola, Florida.
Florida.
Not going to say anything else on that. I feel like
Right.
I've kind of already given the answer away based on what I've said. But yep, those are the answer choices.
And we will read those answers here in a little bit. And we're already getting several right now, Trevor.
Several?
Several answers.
Oh, shucks.
I'm just seeing if we have, we have a lot of special guests, Trevor.
Maybe I made it a little too easy.
No, it's, between, I don't know if it's your mom or dad, but it's under your dad's account, because your mom doesn't have one. But Mark Roubadeaux saying good morning from North Texas.
Yeah, that doesn't exactly clear it up.
Is it Mark? Is it Kelly? We don't know. Unless I miss a comment, which is highly likely. Anyway, Trevor, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started then. I was trying to look for like a good transition, but I couldn't think of one. So,
has North Texas seen any snow recently?
Has North Texas gotten any snow recently? I don't know about super recently. I actually haven't kept up too much with their weather.
Okay.
But that snowstorm that they did get about a month ago was the biggest they've had in quite some time. Mm-hmm. That made news. That was very interesting.
Yeah.
And then not long after that, it was like a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was only last week. It was last week actually, because I was filling in for Joe when this happened. There was a big snowstorm that impacted like large portions of Georgia and North Florida. Mm-hmm. And they like never get snow. It was like called a generational storm because it like never happens.
Yep.
It's like for those people, that's almost a once in a lifetime thing. Mm-hmm. That's why they call it a generational storm. So kind of talking about that a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess actually I want to start with not the weather today, but the weather yesterday. How about yesterday? What a day that was.
We saw the sun.
I was so excited whenever I was forecasting that day over the course of the weekend. Yeah. We do these Facebook Live briefs. Like we on the morning show have done this for a long time, right? Mm-hmm. But the evening shows, both on the weekend and during the weekday, we started doing this recently, where now we, including myself and Joe Charlevoix, will do these Facebook Live segments where we kind of discuss the weather. And I was forecasting all the way back out by like last Saturday, and I talked about it on Sunday when I did the Facebook Live. I was like, keep your eyes on Thursday because it looks like it could be, if nothing major changes, it could be a really good day.
And
Nice
it was.
warm front coming through, and clear out all the sky, all the clouds. And I don't mean just like, oh, you'll see the sun. No, it looks like it's gonna clear out, all of them, and it's gonna be a really nice day. And it held up, and it was a beautiful day, and we saw the most sunshine we've seen since middle of November. And that's not a joke. It's been about that long since we've had completely sunny skies like that. We've had days and moments where it's like, hey, look, that's a pretty decent amount of sun, but there's always still some clouds lingering around.
Yeah.
We haven't had a day like that since the middle of November. Basically, ever since that big snowstorm we got right after Thanksgiving. I remember that because I was filling in for Heather that day. I can't remember why, but that's not important. I was filling in for Heather that Thanksgiving, and ever since that snowstorm at the end of November, we've had mass cloud cover and snow almost every day up until then. And so it's been about 2.5 months since we've had a day like yesterday. And not only was it beautiful sunny skies, it was a lot warmer than even I thought it was going to be. In Traverse City, I don't know about everywhere else, but in Traverse City specifically, we broke a high temperature record yesterday, which I did not know until I came in today and looked at the NWS chat and saw that they had posted that it got to 49, which I was like, what? It got to 49 at the airport in Traverse City. I didn't think it got that high. I thought it was like 40. It was 50 almost. And that was a high temperature record. The previous high temperature record for January 30th was 47th all time in Traverse City, and that was 1988. So yeah, that was the first and so far only really warm day we've had all winter.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because last winter it was only warm days, with the exception of like 7 or 8 days in total where it actually felt like winter.
By the way, it's both your mom and dad watching.
It is both my mom and dad. Okay, now that we've confirmed who's here, I'm gonna say it. Today is my dad's birthday.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Mark.
birthday, Dad. I just wanted to make sure, I wanted to confirm that he was actually here before I said that.
Yeah. What an exciting day. Do you know if he has anything special planned?
I have no idea. I have not spoke to them.
Okay.
I need to call them again.
Well, let us know.
I tried to, for a long time, I was really bad about this. Like in college, for like the first 2 or 3 years of me being in college, I never talked to my parents outside of whenever I would either go home or my mom would text me occasionally to check up on me, to make sure that I was
You're okay
being a human being.
Alive and well, yeah.
Yeah. And then I started calling them. I think I had a schedule my senior year where it was every other Tuesday I would call them. And for whatever reason, when I graduated and came here, I kind of just got out of that and I stopped doing it. And then I started picking it up again recently, but then here in like the last month and a half, 2 months, I've been really bad about it again. So I haven't talked to them about it. So
Well, let's
I
know
have
in the
no
comments.
idea. But I mean, it's Friday, which means he's working. But other than that, I have no idea. I don't know if he's going to go out. A lot of times, he goes out with coworkers after work a lot of times now.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to do that, or if my mom and him are going to go do something after work, or if they've already done something, or if they're just saving it for the weekend. I'm sure they'll let us know.
A lot of options.
Yes.
Yeah, Judy, Paul, Joel, all saying happy birthday, Mark. Hopefully he's feeling the love.
All right, so I talked about yesterday. Now let's actually talk about today.
Okay.
Today will be another pretty good day. Now, I mean, yesterday was like as close as perfect as you could get. It's not going to be as good as yesterday. It will still be warm for some, and for some it will still be fairly sunny too, but it won't be as much of any of those things as it was yesterday. So I'm just going to get right into Stormcast. For the majority of the day, it looks like the majority of our sunshine will stay on the western side of the northern lower. It looks like areas close to the bridge could get a decent amount of sunshine too. But for the most part, we'll call it partly to mostly cloudy today, especially in the morning and early afternoon. That northeast wind, which is very uncommon. We don't usually get a northeast wind in northern Michigan. That's a very rare wind direction for us. It's probably the least common one. But we have a northeast wind today that'll transition to more out of the north once we get into the evening, very briefly. But that northeast wind will kick up some lake effect clouds off of Lake Huron. And so areas east of I-75 that usually steal the majority of the sunshine for us folk on the west side of things will get the most cloud cover today. So yeah, that's all I have to say on that. We'll get some lake effect clouds that way off of Lake Huron, it looks like. And on the western side of things, we should stay relatively quiet. Later in the afternoon and evening today, there is the possibility that with that wind transitioning to out of the north and cooler air begins to settle in again, we could get a few isolated lake effect snow showers or just brief flurries passing through the region. I'm not expecting anything heavy, but it does look like in the evening today, like later afternoon and into the evening, we will get a few snow showers around, especially in the eastern upper. I think the eastern upper has their best chance of that, but you can't discount the possibility of the same thing happening in the northern lower as well. And like with this, these are so sporadic and pop-up-y that I'm just gonna say, like basically everyone has got a chance to see these, but it's a very low chance. Just wanted to throw that out there, but otherwise a pretty nice day. Temperatures, some high temperatures will reach 40 again today. That'll be, again, on the western side of things. Anything west of I-75 and closer to our, like, essentially our southern counties, the far south, the more southwest you move, the warmer our temperatures will be today. I think our highest forecasted temperature in the northern Michigan region was Gladwin. I think they're going to reach about 40 today. And then everything northeast of that along like towards Gaylord over towards Alpena, they probably will sit right around freezing for highs, right around 30, 31, 32. Eastern upper will sit just below that, probably in the 28 to 30 spot area. So again, not a terrible day. Pretty average temperatures. That's actually fairly average, even a little above average for this time of year. Transitioning into February. The first like 2 weeks of February are the coldest weeks of the year on average for us. So from now until around Thanksgiving time is our average temperature, even in Traverse City, sits around 27, like below freezing. It should stay quiet for the remainder of tonight. Again, a few snow showers possible. Just want to throw that out there, and not expecting anything icy. Tomorrow we'll start off cloudy, and we should be cloudy for the majority of the day tomorrow. A few bursts of sunshine early are possible, but otherwise I think it's going to be pretty cloudy tomorrow because we have a system arriving. But that system will take some time to get here. The majority of the day before then will be dry with some increasing wind out of the east and then southeast. And then eventually this system will arrive by very late tomorrow. Now the exact timing on this we're not too sure just yet, but it looks like it'll hold off until right around sunset, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock or so. You should begin to see some. But the brunt of this won't really impact us until very late tomorrow. This will be like closer to bedtime, 10, 11, 12 o'clock tomorrow. And then going into Sunday, our Groundhog Day. It looks like Sunday is going to be a very snowy day. It's going to be snowing all day. And we'll probably have some pretty accurate snow totals on that once Joe gets in. But I actually didn't show this just because you don't typically get enough time to show it in the morning show. But I guess I could see what some preliminary snowfalls are saying. See, the problem with this model is that it doesn't go out that far. Let me see if I could find another model that goes out further, because this one only goes out 18 hours, so it stops on Sunday morning. But it does look like, I think some areas, will, especially in the eastern upper, it looks like another half a foot, if not more, is possible with this system passing through. But it is mainly system snow, which it's interesting because we've actually lacked a lot of system snow this year, and that kind of complicates things for our precipitation and drought situation. I actually want to cover that a little bit because I don't ever really get enough time to explain this or to really talk about it and give it some perspective until I get situations like this where I kind of just have like an open floor to speak on it. So I want to cover that too. But first, let's not get sporadic brain here and try to actually find the snowfall forecast. We have a longer range one, a 48-hour one, or I guess I could use the 72-hour one. Let's see what this one says. Anywhere from like 2 to 5 inches, it looks like. That's subject to change, though. I think this model is a little bit more general. We'll get some of the higher amounts in. Again, I think we'll get a more accurate forecast of this later tonight. And then again tomorrow, whenever I get in, for my weekend shift. So that covers that. And then the remainder of the week beyond that, it does look like, again, that snow will stick around for the majority of the day Sunday, tapering off closer to sunset, right around like 4 or 5 o'clock or so. Most of the snow should begin to depart, and we shouldn't see too much of that. And then beyond that, it looks like it's going to stay dry for a while, actually. Monday through Wednesday don't look particularly messy days at all. They actually look fairly dry, but they look cloudy. And so the sunshine that we saw yesterday doesn't look like it's going to come back into the forecast anytime soon, because Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, it is just mass cloud cover, just a lot of clouds around. But the temperature's right around the average. Doesn't look like we'll get any significant snow. Now, I mentioned this, and I want to get into this briefly real quick before we go back to the weather quiz. I talked about, as a whole, you wouldn't believe this at first unless I showed you like a graphic or something, or like took some time to explain it. But there are actually a lot of areas in northern Michigan that are actually below the average snowfall, which is weird to think about because this has been a very normal winter. And in some metrics, it's been an above average winter for like the Sioux and Gaylord and Traverse City. Like all those regions have above average snowfall this year from just consistent lake effect snow that just will not go away. Sault Ste. Marie has already surpassed, they've already eclipsed their seasonal average snow by around 10 inches. And again, that's their seasonal average, meaning that that's how much snow they would expect to have by like the middle of like May or so. They've already eclipsed that by like 10 inches, and we're still at this point not even technically in February yet. So some areas have had a lot of snow, much more so than the average. But if I can find the graphic that I'm trying to find the drought graphic in particular, the drought monitor. Here it is. This is updated this past Thursday. It actually looks a little bit better than it did last weekend. But this graphic puts into it's a very good visualization of essentially what I'm going to try to explain here. And it's that even though some areas have gotten a lot of snowfall, almost all of our snowfall this entire winter has been lake effect snow. We've gotten so much lake effect snow, we've lacked a lot of system snow. And what we mean by system snow is we mean a convective, a long cold front, widespread snow. And so you can see this very clearly if you look at the drought monitor. Looking off to the east, many areas off to the east and towards Saginaw Bay are in severe drought right now. Why? It's because those regions don't typically get a lot of lake effect snow, because the majority of our lake effect snow is driven out of the northwest. And so the Sioux and areas close to the tip of the mitt who have gotten consistent lake effect snow since late November have no drought. And then you look off to the east and it's a completely different story. They don't get a whole lot of that lake effect snow. And so how do they make up for that? Well, they make up for that for getting system snow. The average snowfall for us around northern Michigan is a combination of system snow and lake effect snow. But we've had almost entirely lake effect snow this winter, not a whole lot of system snow. And so areas to the east of I-75 are in severe drought. And that's just how it is. And so we'll keep an eye on that. There could potentially be like really bad negative repercussions with that, because we don't typically start to get a lot of rainfall until closer to the summer. March, April, and May aren't typically very wet months for us in northern Michigan. And so we could trend more towards further extreme drought, or maybe even, or further towards more severe drought, or maybe even extreme drought if we don't get some more of that system snow, or just generally more water in that area. But we'll keep an eye on that. At the very least, the National Prediction Center, Climate Prediction Center, rather, actually, the CPC, released a precip outlook for the spring, and it looks like they think we're going to get more than the average amount of precipitation. And they said the same thing for the snowfall, and look at that, they were right. They were right about the snowfall. They nailed that on the head. They said that we were going to get more average snowfall this year, and so far it looks like that's held true for most areas, as I've just discussed. Yeah, that really just about does it. I covered the forecast for all relevant stuff recently, but then I also wanted to talk about that, because somebody actually brought this up to me and wanted me to explain it. They're like, why is it that some areas are in severe drought if we have more than the average amount of snowfall? Well, it's because saying that we have more than the average amount of snowfall only applies to some people. Because for other people, it very clearly does not apply. So areas close in like Alcona and Ogama counties, Iosco, close to Saginaw Bay, they actually have less than the average snowfall, the amount of average snowfall up to this point this year, because they've lacked system-driven snow, and almost all of our snow has been lake effect snow. And if you're wondering, okay, then why does that mean that areas around Traverse City, Benzie, and all of them are still in moderate to severe drought? Well, that's a good question, and the answer for that is that's still carryover from our fall drought. If you remember, our fall was so exceptionally dry and warm, we still haven't entirely made up for that. And so that's what you're seeing here. But the good news is that it's not getting any worse, and a lot of those areas have actually gotten a lot better. And so that's good. As long as the drought situation doesn't get worse, that's all you can really hope for. But areas off to the east, it has gotten worse. I don't have a way to go back and show the drought monitor from like 3 or 4 months ago. But the drought monitor from like 3 or 4 months ago, all of our severe and exceptional drought was along the tip of the Mitt and west. And now all of our exceptional drought is on the complete opposite side. And so you can kind of like tell the difference. Like, well, yeah, we're not totally lacking precipitation on the western side of things. It's not the same for the east.
Thanks for the explanation.
Right. We'll get back to the weather quiz. I've talked for way too long.
We have a lot of people to say hi to. We have Chris watching from East Lansing. Joel is watching from the Pleasanton Patriots Pub. It's 18 degrees. It's sunny there. It's also 18 and sunny where Susan Lash Sims is. In Kalkaska. Hi, Susan. Lash Sims. Mark is watching from Zephyr Hills, Florida, where it's 56 with a high in the 70s. Paula saying good morning from Boyne Falls at 16, and just the smallest peaks of clear sky, she says. We're saying hi to Paul on this Friday, watching from Rogers City. That's where Heather is this morning on her Heather's Weather Lessons visit.
Heather's Weather Lessons.
Alice is saying good morning from Alpena. I think she updated her temperature. I believe it's 20 in Alpena. You guys are doing a great job, she says.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alice. Joel is guessing Chicago for the weather quiz. My mom is with us from Port Huron. Hey, Mama.
Hello.
She's saying good morning, Brendan and Trevor. It's raining in Port Huron. Have a fun weekend, everybody, she says. And so rain means wet, dirty paws for Mr. Bange.
Yep.
That's the Kinney family dog, by the way. Judy said good morning from the river. Did something happen to Chris, the guy who was the earliest one on? And it looks like Joel's answering that. Yeah, and Heather told me, I don't think I was here that one day, but he joined us here again on Facebook Live, and then whenever I post a picture to my work page on Facebook, he normally engages, he likes it and comments. So he's around. For some reason, he's just not watching this time of morning. But good question, Judy. Gail is saying good Friday morning. It's 25 degrees. They're at the Infusion Clinic. Jackie is saying good morning, halfway to Hilton Head. It's raining like cats and dogs, she said. She's in West Virginia. And Trevor, she just sent me a picture. And apparently some ice on the road in West Virginia.
That's actually part of the same system that's directly south of us. There's a lot of rain all the way out in parts of the Great Plains, and it's extending all the way past the Alps this morning. Pretty big system. None of that's going to impact us, though, fortunately.
Just wait, Jackie. Once you get to Hilton Head, sit back, relax, hopefully sunshine, beverages, food, whatever you want, brought to you at the pool. Just think of that when you're going through all that mess. I don't know if it helps. Jackie is guessing Chicago here for the weather quiz. Susie Q, is so great to see her yesterday. She's saying good morning, everyone. 21 degrees in Frederick. We have so much snow, getting huge snow piles. She has to ski or snowshoe today. She's off to have breakfast with her daughter Joanne and husband, it looks like. Oh, I get it. Okay, period. She and the husband are off to the Hiawatha Club to race dog sled races by Nobbin Way on Saturday.
Dog sled races? That sounds like cool, so Trevor? Much fun. That's epic. I didn't even know they did those.
Yeah, the UP 200 is happening soonish, I believe. And there are a bunch of activities, with the sled dog race, excuse me.
Oh.
And so that is going on. And then also, let's see, the I-500, sturgeon season.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening like right around right now.
White Pine Stampede.
Pine Stampede. The
Lots
Voss
going on.
is going to happen soon.
So Gail is guessing Chicago. Alice is going with Pensacola. Paula is going with Anchorage. Nancy is going with East Jordan. Wake up, Brendan. Good morning from East Jordan, where it's 20 degrees. East Jordan is her guess. No, I'm kidding. Judy is going with Anchorage. So is Susan Lash Sims. Susie Q going with Anchorage. Your mom, Kelly, is saying she's actually off of work this morning, can join in.
Hey!
Hope you all have a fantastic day and a joyous week. And then right after that, saying it's Mark. And there were some more comments. So Kelly, your mom said it did look absolutely beautiful there yesterday, and I love the hot shot of the bald eagle. Yes, Gib. What time does that start?
No.
Oh, gosh. Oh, boy, we have to wrap up. Apparently, there's a court hearing starting like right now.
Yep.
And so we can only stream one thing at a time. We got to get going. We see all your comments. Thanks for watching. And happy birthday, Mark Roubadeaux.
Happy birthday, Dad. The answer is, I had warned you.
Oh, thank you, yes.
Yep. I had said that it was probably like the one you would least think. It's Anchorage, Alaska. They have the least snow. Can you believe it? Pensacola, Florida has more total snowfall than Anchorage, Alaska since December 1st. What in the world is happening? Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Have a nice weekend.